Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Chris and this is my shop partner Oots, and in this video we're going to be adding some really easy to install and modern looking flooring and ceiling tiles to this basement remodel. Now I've already added this egress window which now allows me to count this basement space as livable square footage, and it lets in a lot of nice light down here. We already framed, drywall, and painted all the walls down here. There's videos on both of those, so make sure you go check those out. Without further ado, let's get started working on the ceiling.
The original basement had one of those ugly drop ceilings, but we ripped that down because I wanted to raise the ceiling up to the joist in the areas where that ductwork wasn't in the way to give me a lot more headroom and openness. Because there was some copper piping and some wiring in the way, we added 2x2 furring strips to the bottom of the joist to clear those objects. Then the plan was to build a 2x4 frame around the ductwork that we were going to attach our ceiling to. I used a little bit of construction adhesive and 2.5-inch 16 gauge brads to secure the furring strips to the bottom of the joist. And here you can see how I'm using those to avoid that copper pipe. Next, using a bunch of 2x4s, I'm going to build a drop-down frame over the ductwork. I first snap a chalk line that is referenced parallel to the wall so that when I install my ceiling tiles later, they'll be nice and straight and even, there won't be any weird tapers. To get this drop-down frame just right, I ran over to Lowe's and bought a Bosch laser level and set it up to shine a line exactly where I needed the bottom of the frame to be. I'd seen these lasers before but never really knew how easy and useful they were. It made this task much easier and more accurate. I really wish I would have bought one of these things years ago. Afterwards, I also used this laser to hang a shelf and some pictures too, and I'll leave a link to this as well as all the tools and products I used for this project down in the description. Now that my frame is in place, I can install my ceiling. Over at Lowe's, I found these really nice modern looking tongue and groove ceiling tiles by Armstrong. Not only do they look great, but because of their clever design, you can attach their little clips to your existing drop ceiling frame and update that dated look, or you can mount their metal frame and clips to an existing drywall or popcorn ceiling, or even straight to the bare joist. Or you can simply glue and staple like what I did. Any method is going to work great. Now with my table saw, I'm going to trim off the tongue on the planks that are going to go against the wall. That way I have something solid to staple to, and those staples will later be hidden by trim. Oh shoot, I don't have my hearing protection. Oops. Go upstairs, I think they're on the table. Go get my hearing protection. Ready? Fetch! Good boy, good boy. Thanks, bud. I also trim off the tongue on the edge of the first starter plank that I use on each run, so again I have a solid piece to staple to. Years ago I picked up a Boss Stitch combo kit that included a compressor, an 18 gauge brad nailer, and a 16 gauge brad nailer, and they've served me really well. So now that I needed a pneumatic stapler, I just grabbed another Boss Stitch, and again it worked really nice. Because the ceiling tiles are made of a mineral fiber like a traditional drop ceiling tile, they're super lightweight, and I thought the staples would be strong enough to hold them up. Well, mineral fiber is nice and lightweight, but it's also super weak, and after a couple of runs, we ended up having some sagging and problems, and we went back and added construction adhesive to the joist from there on out. So don't make the same mistake that I did and add your glue right from the beginning. At this point, we laid out our lights and ductwork so that they would line up nicely with the plank seams, and using a Dremel tool with a rotozip attachment, I was easily able to cut out those openings. Once I get to the drop-down frame, I just continue down that face and rip the last piece to width so that it sits flush with the bottom of the frame. You don't need a table saw to do this either. These planks are easy to cut with a knife in just a couple passes. Now that the ceiling is up, I can start working on the carpet. Now I wanted a really simple, easy to install carpet that I could do myself. I found these really nice modern looking carpet tiles on Lowe's website. I'll put a link to those down in the description. These carpet tiles by Shaw Florigami can be used on any hard surface, and unlike your typical carpet tile, they don't look like they just came out of a cheap hotel or office building. I also really like the tight Berber type nap these have. I can just tell they're going to be able to take years and years of abuse. We wanted carpet down here because we have 2 young kids and wanted something softer for them, but if you're not into carpet, Lowe's also has a ton of awesome new, super nice looking and easy to install flooring options that will work great in a basement where moisture can be a problem, or anywhere in your house. So check out SmartCore, Mohawk, or Timbercraft at Lowe's if you're looking for some of those harder floor options. After thoroughly vacuuming the floor and striking a line down the middle, we start laying down the carpet, overlapping each run like you would for bricks and how we did for the ceiling. And I have to say, this was literally the easiest installation of any product I've ever done. It was awesome. You just peel the tape from the adhesive strip on the back and lay the carpet down. And make sure to look closely at the back of the carpet to check the direction arrow, which for whatever reason the manufacturer decided to print it in black on a black background and underneath the adhesive line. So it's really tricky to see sometimes, but if you lay them all in the correct orientation, you can't even tell they're individual tiles when you're all done. Another really cool thing about this tile system is your ability to address stains. Your first option if you have a stain is that you can pull that individual tile up and run it under the sink with soap and try to clean the stain that way. But if that doesn't work, you can simply replace the stained tile and you don't have to replace your entire carpet, which is awesome. Now, one concern I had was how well these tiles were going to stay adhered to the floor below. I was worried that the single strip of adhesive wouldn't do a good enough job and the corners would come up when dragging furniture or vacuuming. Well, after we did all the trim later on, I made a bunch of sawdust and vacuumed that entire carpet with a heavy-duty shop vac, and it didn't pull up the carpet at all. I was super impressed. And later on at the end of the video, I show some demonstrations of me dragging furniture around and doing some vacuuming with a regular vacuum. Now that the carpet is done, we can go around and add all of our baseboard trim, our door and window trim, and crown molding to the ceiling to finish the basement off. There isn't enough time in this video to cover all the tips and tricks of putting up molding, but there's plenty of other good videos out there that'll let you go and find and learn that stuff. Or if you have a buddy like I do who's really good at it, figure out a way to get them to come over and help you out. Here's where I put the carpet through some testing by dragging a heavy end table and love seat across it, vacuuming it with a really powerful Dyson V10, and then jumping around trying to slide and grinding my shoes into it like an idiot to try to get the carpet to buckle or move, and absolutely nothing happened. So I'm super impressed and really happy with my decision on this carpet. Well, everyone, I think this looks
awesome, absolutely awesome down here. I could not be happier. The ceiling and the carpet, they look nice and clean and modern, and most importantly, they're really easy to put up. Didn't give me a lot of headaches at all. I'm super excited with this space now, increased the value of my house a bunch, and it was pretty easy to do. So if you like this video, make sure you let me know down in the comments. Check out the video on the egress window and on the walls that I did, and go and check out some of these products at Lowe's. Again, those products will be down in the description. Hope you learned some stuff. Hope you try it yourself and improve your basement or whatever space. We'll see you on the next project.